स्वादयन्निह सर्वेषाम् त्रय्यन्तार्थम् सुदुर्ग्रहम् स्तोत्रयामास योगीन्द्रः तम् वन्दे यामुनाह्वयम्। नमो नमो यामुनाय यामुनाय नमो नमः। नमो नमो यामुनाय यामुनाय नमो नमः। यत्पदाम्भोरुहध्यान विध्वस्ताशेषकल्मषः वस्तुतामुपयातोऽहम् यामुनेयम् नमामि तम्। स्वधर्मज्ञानवैराग्य साध्यभक्त्येकगोचरः नारायणः परम् ब्रह्म गीताशास्त्रे समीरितः। श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यः कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्ताम् सदा हृदि।
मानत्वं भगवन्मतस्य महतः पुंसः तथा निर्णयः। Manatvam is measurement. Manatvam is measurement. So Bhagavan Matasya is Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. The faith or the philosophy, you can say. Matam is opinion. Matam is opinion. A sort of theory. So Bhagavan Matasya, again another meaning of Matam is what is accepted by the Lord. Bhagavan Matam is the Lord's philosophy. Bhagavan Matasya Mahataha Punsaha. So whose philosophy? The great man, the great primordial being, Mahataha Punsaha. So that is the measurement. Manatvam is now measurement. Mahataha Punsaha, the measurement of the great Lord through his philosophy. Then Nirnayaha. So this is the first book, Manatvam. Manatvam is the first book. Nirnayaha is second book. Then there are three Siddhis. Siddhi Trayam. It's called Siddhi Trayam. Tisraha Siddhayaha. Tisraha three. Siddhayaha, there you can say important victories. This is again referring to the Moola Mantra, Dvayam. There is Moola Mantra, otherwise called Ashtaksharam, the 8th syllable. Samvat Siddhi, Ishvara Siddhi and Samvit Siddhi and Ishvara Siddhi, one more. Atma Siddhi. Atma Siddhi, Samvit Siddhi, yeah, and Ishvara Siddhi. So it corresponds to the 8th syllable spell, then Dvayam and Charama Shloka. So Samvit, then Akhila Adhishana. Actually, Samvit means knowledge, wisdom. So Atma Samviti is Paramatma Samviti, the wisdom of the Supreme Soul. Then Akhila Adhishana. Akhila Adhishana is omnipresent. He is omnipotent also. Everywhere he has sway over. His power is over everything. So Akhila Adhishana is a presiding deity for everything. Akhila Adhishana. Adhishana is presiding deity. Then Tattva Ashrayaha. So all these books refer to the principle, the highest principle, Tattva Ashrayaha. Then again, Gītārthasya Sangrahaha. That's what we are now going through. So Gītārthasya Sangrahaha. Stuti Yugam. Stuti Yugam. So Sri Shayoho. Sri Stutihi and Shisha Stutihi. So it is God, the praise of the goddess Mahalakshmi and the praise of the Lord Sriman Narayana. So Sri Shishayoho iti, thus Amun, these Sad Yad Granthan, which books, Granthan books, Anusandadhe. Anusandadhe is he blessed us. So who is that? Yatipatihi. He was also a monk, recluse, sannyasi. So the head of the monks, Yatipatihi. Tam Yamuneyam Numaha. Yad Granthan Anusandade Yatipatihi. Tam Yamuneyam Namaha. Yatipatihi Ramanujacharya followed very strictly all these works of Yamunacharya, and Tam, so Yamuneyam Tam Namaha. Numaha, it is not Namaha, it is Numaha. If it is Namaha, it will be there should be what you call dative case. Yeah, right. So again, we are going through the Gitartha Sangha Raksha. Therefore, Srimad Venkatanathena by the preceptor, the great preceptor Venkatanatha, Yatha Bhashyam Vidhiyate, according to the commentary of Ramanuja, Sri Bhashyam Vidhiyate, he is following Bhagavad Yamuneyokta by the respectable Yamunacharya, who said Gitartha Sangraha. Vedanta Deshika is trying to protect Rakshanam. So Gitartha Sangraha, Raksha is the name of the book of Sri Vedanta Deshika, who is now saving the philosophy from extinction, and therefore Srimad Venkatanathena. So that is the next page is very easy to understand. So Tattvam Jignasamananam. We are all the people who want to know the principle, the highest principle. Tattvam, the highest principle. Jignasamananam. We have a desire to know. Jnatum Ichha is a desire to know. Jignasa. So Jignasamananam, Shashti Vibhakti, Bhagavachanam. Possessive case, plural. Of those people who want to know. Hetubihi, by the causes, reasons. Sarvato Mukhaihi, all types of causes. All comprehensive causes. Tattvam Ekaha, we must understand there is only one principle. That is Mahayogi Harihi Narayanaha Paraha. Mahayogi. He is also Karma Yogi, he is also Jnana Yogi, he is also Bhakti Yogi, and he is also Prapatti Yogi. Harihi Narayanaha Paraha. So these are all some statements from various works. The references are given there. Mahabharata, Sasanika Parva, Moksha Parva.
Moksha Dharma.
Moksha Dharma. That is also called the small Parva. Moksha Dharma Parvan. Again, Narasimha Puranam, is it? Or Narada, the Purana.
I don't know. I have to look at the original text.
Okay. So when you discuss Alodya, Sarva Shastrani, all the sciences, Vicharya, discussing threadbare, we say, Vicharya, understanding deeply, Punah Punaha, again and again. So only one is the outcome. Idam Ekam Sunishpannam. This is the only conclusion that we arrive at, namely Narayanaha, Lord Sriman Narayana, Sada, always Dheyaha must be meditated upon.
Nityatma Sangha Karmeha Gochara Sankhya Yoga Dhihi Dvitiye Stitha Dhi Laksha Prokta Tanmoha Shantaye.
एवं द्वितीय अध्यायोक्तस्य प्रपंचन रूपतया षष्ठान्तानां चतुर्णाम् एकपेटिकात्वम् एकीकरणार्थं तृतीय आरंभे भाषितं तदेवं मुमुक्षुभिः परमप्राप्यतया वेदांत उदित निरस्त निखिल प्रविद्यादि दोष गंधान अविधिक it is not avidika, anavadika, not we, anavadika. Dosha, gandha, anavadika. It is not we, it is va, va.
It's a B, not a V.
Va, that's all. Not vi.
VA. VA.
No, not there, not here. The next, Gandha Anavadika.
Gandhanavadika. Gandhanavadika. I can't see it. Where is it?
Fourth line from
Dosha Gandha Anavadika.
Dosha Gandha.
Dosha Gandha Vadika. Not. Okay.
Okay.
So again, I start from the beginning. Yeah. So Vedanta Udita, Nirasta, Nikhila, Vidya, Adi, Dosha, Gandha, Anavadika, Atishaya, Asankhya, Kalyana, Guna, Gana, Parabrahma, Purushottama, Prapti, Upaya, Bhuta, Vedana, Upasana, Dhyana, Adi, Shabda, Vachya, Tat, Aikantika, Atyantika, Bhaktim, Vaktum, Tat, Anga, Bhutam, Ya Atma, Apahata Papma. So that will be separated as Yaha Atma, Apahata Papma, Ityadi, Prajapati, Vakya, Uditam, Praptuhu, Atmanaha, Yathatmya Darshanam, Tat, Nityata, Ajnana Purvaka, Sangha, you can say Asanga, Karma, Nishpadya, Jnana, Yoga, Sadhyam, Uktam, iti Arabhya, Ataha, Parama, Dhyaya, Ataparam, Adhyaya Chatushtayena, Idam eva praptuhu pratyak atmanaha darshanam sasadhanam prapanchate. So evam, in this way, in this manner. Are you all ready for, are we all ready for what do you call taxing session? Okay. So Dvitiya Adhyaya Uktasya Prapanchana Rupataya. Now we are now going to see the essence of or the explanation of what is said in the second chapter. Dvitiya, second Adhyaya chapter, Uktasya, of what has been said, Prapanchana Rupataya, in order to explain in the form of a detailed explanation. Now, Shashtantanam, so till the 6th chapter, so number 1 to 6, now number 2 to 6. So we have already seen the first adhyaya, which is always Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Namely, Arjuna is sad, and later on the second chapter starts the conversation of Krishna, Lord Krishna to him, and therefore Shashta Antanam, till the end of the sixth chapter, Chaturnam Ekapetikatvam. Now from 2, 3, 4 and 5, or you can leave even 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, these 4, Chaturnam of these 4, Ekapetikatvam. This is only a particular single group. Ekapetika. Petika means box. Ekapetika is in one box, meaning one group. So 3, 4, 5, 6 are in one group. The first chapter does not connect with the others in the sense that the teaching of the Bhagavad Gita, the instructions on the Brahma Vidya, namely the spiritual wisdom, starts with the second chapter, continues from 3 to 6 in a set. So that is what we say. So Chaturnam Ekapetikatvam. Now, how do we understand that the 4, namely 3, 4, 5, 6 are in one box? So Eki Karanartham, in order to consolidate, in order to bring together in one box, Tritiya Arambe, in the beginning of the third chapter, the Bhashyam says, Bhashitam. Bhashitam is spoken. So what is spoken? Start the, what you call the inverted commas, start with Tadevam and end with Iti Arabhya. The last but one line. Till then, this is the quotation from Sri Gita Bhashyam of Sri Ramanujacharya. And therefore, Vedanta Deshika gives us the final explanation. Ataha param adhyaya chatushtayena idameva praptuhu pratyagatmanaha darshanam sasadhanam prapanchate iti. This is the expression of Swami Vedanta Deshika. All the previous words are from Ramanuja's Gita Bhashya. So Tatu Evam, Tatu therefore Evam in this way. Now, who are after this spiritual wisdom? Mumukshubhihi. They want moksham. So they like to have moksham. So Mumukshubhihi. Mumukshu is moksham, ichuhu, mumukshu. So Mumukshubhihi, by the people, by the individual souls who seek emancipation, who seek beatitude, the realization, who want to stop the cycle of birth and death, and who want to be permanent residents of Sri Vaikuntham, who want to enjoy the bliss, the supreme bliss, along with or near the supreme soul, and so on. So Parama Prapyataya. So the exact goal or aim or the target is reaching the Lord, reaching the highest. Parama, highest. Prapyataya. Now the people, the individual souls who want to have moksham will reach the Lord, will reach the Supreme Being. Parama Prapyataya. How do they do it? So Vedanta Udita. Vedanta is Upanishad. Veda is scripture. Vedanta is Upanishad. The final part of the scripture. The other three, namely Samhita, Brahmanam, Aranyakam, referring to the Karma Kanda. The content is Karma Kanda, the action-oriented duties of the individual soul. And finally, Jnana Kanda of Upanishad, called Upanishads. This is what we call the spiritual wisdom path. So Vedanta, that is Vedanta. Then Vedanta Udita. So Udita can mean two ways. One is that came up from, that arose from, A-R-O-S-E, that arose from, or can even say said in, it was spoken in Vedanta. Then what is that? So Nirasta Nikhila Avidyadi Dosha Gandha. Nikhila, everything. Nikhila means sarva. Avidyadi Dosha. Avidya, ignorance. That is absence of the knowledge of Supreme. The absence of the spiritual wisdom. So avidyadi dosha. So it is a defect when the individual soul does not realize, understand what is or who God is. Then he has got a defect called avidyadi dosha. That means he is ignorant. He is surrounded by tamo guna, the quality of darkness. It says your internet connection is unstable. So, Nirasta Nikhila Avidyadi Dosha. So, having thrown away, having avoided, having dispelled the darkness of ignorance. So, Nirasta Nikhila Avidyadi Dosha. So, after dispelling all the bad or the defect of the ignorance, avidya is otherwise called nescience in English. N-E-S-C-I-E-N-C. Nescience. That means no science, meaning refuting the principle, highest principle. So refuting the presence of it, the eternal presence of the highest principle. So Nirasta Nikhila Avidyadi Dosha. Having removed the defect of ignorance, then dosha gandha, even the smell, even an iota of this defect has been removed. So dosha gandha. Then we come to the experience of the Lord, bliss of the Lord, the qualities of the Lord, as it is said in Ramanujacharya's Gadyatrayam, especially in Sriranga Gadyam, and also in Sharanagati. In Sharanagati Gadyam, Mahalakshmi has been described in the first part, and in Sriranga Gadyam, Lord Sriman Narayana has been described with his qualities in a nutshell, though there are umpteen or infinite number of auspicious characteristics, and therefore now it is again explained like. In the case of Mahalakshmi, according to Deshika Sampradaya, the tradition, we say Bhagavan Narayana Amartanu Rupa Swarupa Rupa Guna Vibhavaishwarya Shilad Janavadikatishaya Asankheya Kalyana Guna Ganam. So this word refers to Mahalakshmi, the goddess of fortune, the divine concept of Sriman Narayana. So this is how Sharanagati Gatyam says that. Bhagavan Narayana Abhimatanurupa Swarupa Rupa Guna Vibhavaishwarya Shilad Janavadikatishaya Asankheya Kalyana Gunakanam. It goes further to say Padmavanalayam Bhagavatim Shriyam Devim Nitya Anapayinim Niravadyam Deva Deva Divya Mahishim Akhila Jaganmataram Asman Mataram Asharanya Sharanyam Ananya Sharanaha Sharanamaham Prapadye. This is the first paragraph in Sharanagati Gadya. So the same thing applies to, same attitude applies to Lord Sriman Narayana. Here, because already we saw that Alodya Sarva Shastrani, Vicharya cha Punam Vicharya sa Punah Punah, Idamekam Sunishpannam Dheyo Narayano Harihi. And also the Gita Sangraha, we saw Narayana Param Brahma. The same way, in the same way, here, Anavadika, unlimitedly, Anavadika, there is no avadi, there is no limit, there is no bar, there is no shore beyond, there is no shore beyond, so there is no limit over and above. So Anavadika. Then Atishaya, wonderful, surprising, according to your US term, amazing. So Atishaya. Then Asankhya, innumerable. Or you can say numerous, or power of infinity, to the power of infinity. So Asankhya. Kalyana, auspicious. Kalyana doesn't mean marriage here, wedding here. Later on we have come to that meaning. So Kalyanam is anything good. So auspicious. So Kalyana. Guna, the characteristics. All the characteristics are good characteristics. Gana, the group. So Guna Gana. So who is that? Parabrahma. He is the highest living being. The highest supreme soul. So Parabrahma. Almighty, omniscient, omnipotent and omnipresent. He is called the Purushottamaha. He is the primordial man. Purushottamaha, the best primordial man. Purushottamaha. Now, what is to be done? We have to reach him. Prapti. Prapti is reaching. So, with all these qualities, this Brahma, this Param Brahma, or Param Brahma, you can also say Param Brahma, is to be reached. Therefore, Parabrahma Purushottamaha Prapyaha. Again, who is the Upaya? What is the means? What are the methods to approach him? To go near him. So, Prapti Upaya Bhuta. So, this has become the means. So, what becomes the means of attaining the Lord? Vedanam. Let us not mistake it as Vedana. Vedana means suffering. Vedana, Tamil, Vedanai. In Tamil we call it Vedanai. Vedana is suffering, difficulty. But here is Vedanam, is knowing, understanding, studying. So Vedanam, the Vedanam is from Veda, the word scripture study, the study of scriptures, understanding the scriptures. Then Upasanam, meditation. Upasanam and Dhyanam, again Dhyanam, a continuous meditation. We already saw the example as the oil pouring down continuously without any gap, without any interruption. So Upasanam, as already meant by Keshavdas Swami, living near the Lord, literally and mentally. Living near the Lord, meaning always thinking about Him. Upasana, Upasanam, seated near Him, seated besides Him. So Upasana, Dhyana, so meditation. So not only sitting with Him, but also meditating upon Him. Dhyana, Adi, etc. There are so many other words also. The scripture says, first think of God, mantavyaha. Sorry, first hear about Him. First hear about Him, listen to Him, listen to His greatness. Shrotavyaha. Shrotavyaha, the scripture says, Shrotavyaha, He has to be heard first. We must know who God is. First let us hear about Him. Let others say and let us hear about Him. Let us listen to Him. Now Arjuna is listening to Lord Krishna's advice in Bhagavad Gita. The listening is very important. The listening skill is very important in learning, especially a language also. The language skill involves first step, learning as a first step, listening as a first step, careful listening, concentrated listening, and so on. So, now, Shrotavyaha, the scripture says. Then Mantavyaha, so meditate upon, think of him. After hearing him, don't leave him. So think of him. Again, after thinking of him, Nididhyasitavyaha. Shrotavyo, Mantavyo, Nididhyasitavyaha. This is a sentence in scripture. So here, Upasana, Dhyana, that's why it said Adi. So Upasana can say, as we say, proximity to the Supreme Soul. Dhyana is meditation upon the Supreme Soul. Then Adi will be Nididhyasanam. Nididhyasanam is not only placing yourself near the Supreme Soul and also remembering him, talking about him, thinking about him, saying about him, teaching about him, advising about him, and so on. So Adi, then Shabda Vachya. Now this particular word Shabda Vachya is from, Shabda means, there are two meanings. One is Shabda means Veda Shabda, the words of spell, the powerful words of the scriptures. Then Vachya, they are to be read, they should be understood. Shabda means grammar. Vedanga is one of the limbs, 6 limbs of the scripture is grammar. So Shabda means grammar. So by grammar we can understand each word. So that is Shabda again. So Shabda Vachya, we have to read it, we have to hear it, we have to listen to it, we have to understand it, we have to study it. So this is Shabda Vachya. All this, what is that? Anavadika, Atishaya, Asankheya, Kalyana, Guna, Gana. Again, I remind you the first part of the sentence. Vedanta Udita, Nirasta, Nikhila, Avidyadi Dosha, Gandha. That is also one of the qualities of the Lord. As per the Upanishads of the scriptures, the final part of the scriptures, Lord Sriman Narayana is bereft of, B-E-R-E-F-T, bereft of all kinds of defects like avidya, like the absence of spiritual wisdom. Now, Advaitis, the other sampradaya called Advaitam, they attach this avidya to the Lord. Avidya is part of the Lord, they say. Ignorance or illusion or illusory knowledge, wrong knowledge, imperfect knowledge is also associated with God, they say. We don't attach that kind of bad defect with the Lord. So he is now without that defect. That is also one of the first qualities. Afterwards, you have all other auspicious qualities. That is Anavadika, Atishaya, Asankheya, Kalyana, Guna, Gana, Parabrahma, Purushottama. Now, the studying of these qualities will become the means of understanding him and reaching him. So, Upasana, Dhyana, Adi, Shabda, Vachya. Then, so how do we go about reading this, studying about the auspicious qualities of the Lord in order to reach him? That Aikantika, Atyantika, Bhaktim. That will be through devotion, Bhakti. Bhakti is devotion. And the Bhakti will be, will have two qualities. Number one, Aikantika. Again, there is a spelling mistake. Aikantika, double-A. Aikantika, Tat Aikantika, not Aikantika. Though a small mistake, though we may not notice, Sabdavachya, after the word Sabdavachya, Tat Aikantika, Ka, it will be long, long Ka. Yeah. In English also must, it is there. It is in English, it is there. So, Aikantika, Atyantika, these are the two sides of Bhakti. So, what is Bhakti? How to practice Bhakti? How do we practice Bhakti? Aikantika, alone, solitary devotion. Solitary devotion, Aikantika. Meaning, we are in a place, secluded place, where we have no other distraction, commitment, encumbrance, worry, and so on. So, Aikantika. Then again, Bhakti will be the maximum, to the core, we say, C-O-R-E. Atyantika. There is no let up in between. There is no coming down. There is no loose end. So Atyantika, the entirety of the devotion. So the Aikantika and Atyantika will be the characteristics of Bhakti. Bhaktum, to explain, to say, Bhaktum to say. So this kind of bhakti comes through both Aikantika bhakti and Atyantika bhakti comes through Upasana, Dhyana and Nididhyasana. That Upasana and Dhyana of the Lord and Lord's characteristics. Asankhyeya Kalyana Guna, limitless number of auspicious characteristics. So that will be the, so this is now you can understand the cogency in the words, and then step by step Ramanujacharya's Gita Bhashyam explains how the second chapter leads to third to fourth to fifth, and fifth to sixth. Now, the Bhaktum, Tat Anga Bhutam. So that Anga Bhutam is the part of it. So the part of the bhakti, the part of the devotion. So in the devotion, what shall we feel? So Yaha Atma Apahata Papma. It has been said in different terms like Avidyadi Dosha Gandha. The word that precedes is Nirasta. Nirasta Nikhila Avidyadi Dosha Gandha. That is repeated by in different terms by Apahata Papma. It is not a question of there were bad qualities or sins attached to the Lord. Later on, they were removed, they were killed, they were weaned away. That's not the meaning of Apahata Papma. No sin attaches to the Lord. That's the meaning. But generally, Apahata will be Hata meaning killed. Apahata means killed by putting them away. Apa will be away. So Apahata Papma will be mistaken as once upon a time Lord has had bad qualities and they were killed later. They were removed later. No. So Yaha who? So Yaha Atma, which Supreme Soul is without any defects, without any blemish, without any sins attached to him. Apahata Papma. Again, this Apahata Papma will give rise to another quality of the Lord, Ajara. Ajara. He has no old age. He has no debility. He has no weakness of the aged position. He is Nitya Yuva. He is always young. He is ever young, fresh. And therefore, age cannot wither him, nor the customs stale, according to Shakespeare's word, with regard to Cleopatra's beauty. Age cannot wither her. So age cannot wither him. So nor customs still. So he is ever young. So ajaratvam also, ajaratvam. That ajaratvam is also a defect for us as we grow year by year. We become old, we become decrepit, we become useless, we become idle, and so on. So here, that kind of bad association is not there. So apahata papma. And we also say amalatvam. No impurity attaches to him. Impurity of sins also. Ajaratvam, amalatvam. All these two also are added to apahata papma. Then ityadi. Again, so many other things also. Prajapati vakyoditam. Prajapati can be Brahma or the 17 assistants of Brahma. Prajapati. But here it is Prajapati, the creator. Prajanam Patihi. Shakti Tatpurusha Samasa. With the ending of the possessive case. So Prajapati, Vakya Uditam. It is Brahma's statement. Uditam said, Praptuhu Atmanaha Yathatmya Darshanam. So Atmanaha, again Paramatmanaha. Praptuhu Atmanaha, one who wants to reach Paramatma. And also Yathatmya Darshanam, a vision, a true vision of the Supreme Soul. Then, now, one by one you understand this from the 3rd chapter onwards to 6th chapter. These are all explained. Number 1 is how Lord is without defects. How is he called? Nirasta Nikhila Avidyadi Dosha Gandhaha. So that has been explained. That is the first subject. Second subject is Anavadika Atishaya Asankheya Kalyana Guna Ganaha. That is the second subject. Second subject matter. The content list is given here. The list of content. Then Parabrahmam, Parabrahma. He is Parabrahma. He is Purushottama. Then he is, to attain him, the Upaya Bhuta is Vedana, Upasana and Dhyana. These are the 3 methods of Upaya. Though we already said he himself is the Upaya. No doubt. No doubt Lord the Supreme Soul, Sriman Narayana, is the Upaya, is the means to attain him. But still, there are some initial steps. That those initial steps also are blessed to us by him. If we try to understand him, we are lucky, we are fortunate because he has blessed us to understand. Upasanam, we want to go near him and we want to realize him. That the desire for realization is now instilled in us by him. That is Upasanam and Dhyanam. We meditate on him. We want to meditate on him. That the desire for meditation is also associated with us by him. Everything he does. So Upasana Dhyana, then that is why we go to the scriptures, read the scriptures, understand vociferously. Vociferously we understand, we openly say the scriptural sentences. Now today, for example, the Ashtakshara mantra is known by all now. All the people, almost without any exception, know what is Ashtakshara. So Vedavakyam is already been studied. Vedavakyam is now known. Then the next subject matter will be Aikantika Atyantika Bhakti. So that is the 4th or 5th subject matter. Then again, Tadanga Bhutam Yayatma Apagata Papma is the next subject matter. So Ityadi Prajapati Vakya Uditam praptuhu atmanaha. Then again, Yathatmya Darshanam is the next subject matter. How to have vision of the Lord, the true vision of the Lord. Then we go to the next subject matter. Tat Nityata. Tat Nityata. The eternal permanence of that Yathatmya Darshanam. Once the moksha is got, is attained, there is no coming back. There is no looking back. There is no looking back. So tat nityata, san nityata. Then ajnana purvaka asanga karma. Or jnana purvaka asanga karma, or jnana purvaka asanga karma, ajnana purvaka sanga karma. That also there. So we are performing actions. When we are performing actions, we are also aloof. We want to be away from the thinking of the fruits of our action. We don't have attachment towards our action. So it will be asanga karma. That will be jnana purvakam. Because we have understood jnana yoga along with karma yoga. When we perform actions, we have no attachment towards those actions in expecting the fruits of those actions as the advantages of the result of performing action. So jnana purvaka asanga karma or ajnana purvaka sanga karma. Of course, it cannot be there. Sorry. So when we are unwise, when we have no spiritual wisdom, we will always be doing actions with attachment. So asanga karma, jnana purvaka asanga karma. Then nishpadya jnana yoga sadhyam uttam. So this will give rise to what we call the subject matter of detached action with the preceding knowledge, spiritual knowledge or spiritual wisdom will be called jnana yoga, and that can be achievable. Sadhyam. It is possible to achieve. Sadhyam uktam. So from the third chapter to sixth chapter, we understand all these subject matters are dealt with. So iti arabhya, thus beginning, ataha therefore, param, atah param, later on, or later on to this, after this, adhyaya chatushtayena, by the 4 chapters, namely 3, 4, 5 and 6, idameva praptuhu, idameva, this is only this, praptuhu, one who is going to reach, pratyak atmanaha, the individual soul. So pratyaka is individual. So atmanaha darshanam will be the supreme soul's vision. So pratyaka atmanaha darshanam sasadhanam prapanchate. Prapanchate is being explained here by Gita Bhashya of Ramanujacharya, which is supported by Gitartha Sangraha of Sri Yamunacharya. So darshanam, so the vision, you can say darshanam also philosophy, a branch of philosophy. Meaning darshanam is the philosophy shows you the God. We understand who God is. So atmanaha darshanam, you can also understand your own individual soul. How do you understand your individual soul? The individual soul is limited in power, limited in everything else also. It cannot create. It doesn't have any control over himself or others. No control, no self-control. In the sense, no question of creation or sustenance of destruction on the part of the individual soul. So all the limitations of individual soul are to be understood. That is called here Atmanaha Darshanam. Vision of the individual soul, which is also compared to the Supreme Soul, very important. That will be again Sasadhanam. Sasadhanam, with the means, MEANS, with the strategies. So there are two strategies here. One, understanding the individual soul is the first strategy. Understanding ourselves, that is our helplessness. Our helplessness, that is our akinchanyam, our karpanyam, our, you can say, miserliness. No power to help myself. I cannot help myself. Therefore, that is also one sadhanam. The other one is the Supreme Soul's thought. The thought on the Supreme Soul. The Supreme Soul himself is a sadhanam. Therefore, sasadhanam, along with the instruments, prapanchate, this is being well explained. Prapanchate. Prapanchaha, as we all know, that it means world, universe. Prapanchaha. Prapanchate, you can also say created. This explanation has been created. The very important subject matter among the 4 chapters, namely 3, 4, 5, and 6, is Darshanam Sasadhanam. The vision is the instrument. The vision of the individual soul, one's own self-introspection of our capabilities, and compared with the capabilities of the Lord, Sriman Narayana. What is the difference between the individual soul and the Supreme Soul? How the Supreme Soul is the highest and how the individual soul is the smallest. As we already saw, Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan. So Anoraniyan can even refer to individual soul, which is less than everything, smaller than everything else. And then Mahato Mahiyan will refer to the Supreme Soul. So here, that kind of presentation has been given in this particular verse of Gitartha Sangraha of Sri Yamunacharya.
So I'm sharing this other screen again. I'm asking about this this first verse of the this is a verse. This is a Taniyan written by Vedanta Deshika, the first. Manatvam Bhagavan Matasya.
Yeah. And it is said that today I heard from Madhavacharya Swami that Swami Vedanta Deshika held in highest esteem Yamunacharya. Yamunacharya is the foremost and the best preceptor that Swami Deshika ever had. That's what is his opinion, Swami Deshika's opinion.
I see. Okay, so but we shouldn't misunderstand that this means this in the Shastra. Sometimes we hear hyperbolic descriptions of somebody is the greatest acharya. When we say Yamunacharya is the greatest acharya, we don't mean that he's greater than Ramanujacharya. We just mean they're all the greatest. They're all the greatest. But anyhow, my question was about this verse here, this first verse. What is the meter for this verse? It seems like it's this is unusual. Yeah.
Okay, now sorry.
yeah. So my question was, we had some Vatanians for Gita Sangraha Raksha. The first one. What is the meter of that, and is there any significance? Because all the other verses that we have come across are Anustup. This one is a different meter. Is there any significance to that? And what meter is it? Manatvam Bhagavan Matsya.
Yeah, this is Shardula Vikriditam.
What is it?
This is the meter is Shardula Vikriditam. 19 syllables per quarter.
Right.
And this is called Ati Dhriti Chandas. The main category, the broader division will be Ati Dhriti Chandas. All the meters under this Ati Dhriti Chandas is 19 syllables per quarter.
Right. I have noticed a lot of times. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I noticed that sometimes when people employ a different meter, they want to highlight something. So he seems to this first Tanian verse seems to be something very special. It's a special meter.
That is, the number of syllables increase by the gravity of the subject matter, rather the importance of the subject matter, where the poet or the author has to express elaborately about the acharya, about the preceptor. That's why the matter is very great, rather in quantity also is very big. He has to give a list of books composed by the Yamunacharya, and therefore 19 syllables are used per quarter.
Nice.
Two points. Number one, as you said, the quality of the greatness of the preceptor is clearly explained by many words. The many words will occupy bigger meaning. Generally, a shloka can have 2 or 3 meanings. You can have dvani, suggestion, and also very important inner meaning. But it's very difficult to say it within 8 syllables per quarter. So composing shloka is more difficult than composing 19 syllables quarter verse. And of course, the very fixed pattern. All of you might remember, or I have to know if there was no previous experience. Anushtup Chandas, 8 syllables quartered verses, have no yati. Yati meaning a pass, P-A-U-S-E, or it is sijura. Sijura. There will be some gap between words. Definitely there should be a gap between the quarters. You can have a long compound word comprising of the first half and the second half separately. You cannot have 4 lines together in a single compound word. You have to stop somewhere. But again, in the first half or the second half, the definition of a bigger meter like Shardula Vikriditam, the Shardula means tiger. Vikriditam is a play with a game with a tiger, meaning that very difficult to play with a tiger. The tiger, we say as an example, the tiger wants to kill a person. The man who is near the tiger somehow caught its tail. He is ready. He is able to pull the tiger with all power, and then the tiger cannot turn back. Suppose he leaves the tail, then it will bounce upon him. If he doesn't leave the tail, then how long will he hold the tail? That is it. So The interest with which a poet composes a 19-syllable quarter verse will be the interest that he evinces. The poet evinces on the composing. That means he is interested and he knows how to compose. The second thing is here I wanted to say that there is yati here. So what is the yati here? This is called Suryashvaihi, Surya Ashvaihi, Surya sun. Very easy to understand. Surya is sun, Ashvaha is horse. So very easy. These are the two words which tell you the yati of Shardula Vikriditam. Surya meaning sun. How many suns are there? Adityas are there. There are 12. There are 12. Ashvaha, the horse. What is the number of the horses for the sun chariot? Sun chariot, 7. So
The total 19.
12 plus 7 will be 19. 12 plus 7 will be 19. The 12th, on the 12th aksharam, there should be a pass. If there is no pass, he is not a good poet. Though some poets would like to write 19-syllable quarter like Shardula Vikriditam. They can use some other variety also. 2 power 19 varieties are there. 2 power 19 varieties are there. Because Lagu, Guru are 2. So 2 power 19 is very difficult to calculate the 2 power 19 immediately. You have to put it in calculator to find out. So many varieties. Even 2 power 8 will be 256 varieties. So you can write you can write Atidhriti Chanda's verse with 19 syllables per quarter with your pattern according to your whims and fancies also you can write. But whereas to write on Shardula Vikriditam specific pattern, 12th lakshara should end with a word. And 7th, again 7, again that means 19th akshara, 19th syllable of the quarter, namely the last syllable of the quarter should have an end. Otherwise, you can continue the compound word in the second line also, in the first half. That means the second quarter. But it's very difficult, very difficult to stop. If you are able to write a long compound word, I can give you Vedanta Deshika's long compound word in Vairagya Panchakam. The first verse. Choni Kona. I'm just saying the words very slowly. Choni, only 2-lettered words. Choni, Kona, then Shata, Amsha, Palana, Kala, Durvara, Garva, Anala, Shubhyat, Shudra, Narendra, Nara Indra, Chatu, Rachana. This is a big, this goes beyond 19. The word goes beyond 19. But where to stop? So you have to stop at 12 and 19. Then you can continue. Then the last word of the compound will Danyan. So Choni Kona Shatamcha Palana Kala Durvara Garvanala Chubhyat Chudra Narendra Chatu Rachana Danyan. That will be the single compound word. So why I say this is Vedanta Deshika is capable of writing such a long compound word, but with very simple members of the compound, namely just with 2 syllables or maximum 3 syllables, not even 4 syllables. There will be only Durvara will be 3 syllables. No other word in the whole compound has got 4 syllables. That is the beauty in Vedanta Deshika also. He is simple as well as hard. He is simple. Here also, for example, Atma Sammit Akhila Adishana Tattva Ashrayaha. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 words are there. 7 words are there. Again, I say Atma Samvit Samvit also can be separated as with prefix, preposition, some and with. Then Akhila. Then Adhi is another prefix. Then Ishana. Then Tattva. Then Ashraya.
So here in the
Again, long compounds
yeah.
give the majesty to the poem as well as prose. The more importance is given to long compounds in prose work. Whereas here, it's very difficult to memorize by singing the poem because if they are long compounds. The first line, or the first quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter are easy to memorize, but not the second one.
Yeah.
In fact, there is a sandhi also. Tisras siddhaya. Siddhayaha will be, the visarga will be there. Now it is in conjunction. Therefore, there is no visarga. Visarga is dropped there. So, tisras siddhaya atma samvida khiladishana tattvasthayaha is one continuous reading. One continuous reading. Why is it? There is a majesty of the compound. At the same time, look at the 12th syllable. I mean, in every quarter.
So
Manatum has got 3. Manatum 3. Bhagavan 3. Matasya 3. 9. Then Mahataha 3. 12. Very easy to read it with 3, 3, 3. Why 3, 3, 3? Every Gana has got 3 syllables per group. Gana meaning group. Every Gana has got 3 syllables. So Manatum is 1 Gana, Bhagavan is 1 Gana, Matasya 1 Gana, Mahataha 1 Gana. So Mahataha, there the 12th syllable stops. Then you have separate word Pumsaha. Then last word is Nirnayaha because Pumsaha 2, Tata 2, so 2 plus 2, 4, Nirnayaha 3, 4 plus 3, 7. So this is how, so 12th syllable, there must be a pause. That pause is called in Sanskrit Yatihi. Yatihi also meaning the monk, the sannyasi, the one who denounced all his possession. So here, what I want to say is, this kind of, as you want it, this kind of long verses with more syllables than rather more than two times the Anushtup. So 8 plus 8 plus 3. This kind of meter is used for explaining the greatness of the preceptor with the meaning also many, because there is a list of works of. Otherwise, Swami Vedanta Deshika can also be simple in presentation. In Paduka Sahasram, especially in 1008 verses, suddenly composed within 1.5 hours, contains all the first verses. I think include last verses of each chapter, called Paddhati. Paddhati meaning the chapter, the name of the chapter. In all the 32 Paddhatis, the first verse is in Anushtup, the last verse is in Anushtup. I know definitely first verse is in Anushtup, 8 syllable quarter. But whereas he has using a lot of other meters. And it is also customary for what is definition of a Mahakavya, a great epic, will have the same meter throughout the chapter, but at the end the chapter should end in different meter. That is the fixed condition for a poet, for a good poet. In writing a great epic, first, the whole chapter should have only 1 meter. But here it is a commentary, and therefore there is no hard and fast rule for this commentary. Therefore, he can give any type of meter in any place.
So thank you for that. I'm sorry if that was a little boring for other people about the meter and everything, but I was very interested that there was a different meter and the reason for it. and that explanation about yati, about the pause, was very nice. And is he is so in every meter there is this yati, this pause, or only in the longer meters?
Only after 14.
After
14 syllables per part.
After 14 syllables, okay. And so as you said, the second line is very difficult because it has a very long compound, and even Siddhaya is connected with Atma Samvid, Akiladisha, Tattva Shraya, whatever.
Akiladishana.
Yeah.
Adishana Tattva Shraya.
So, okay, so thank you for the explanation of the chandas. Now, I just wanted to go over the list of books that were mentioned here. He says, first of all, he says that he mentions the city Traya, the three cities, Atma Siddhi, and Samvid Siddhi.
Atma Siddhi, yeah. Atma Siddhi, Samvid Siddhi.
So is this the correct order? Atma Siddhi, then Samvid Siddhi?
Yeah.
And then
this is an order.
Okay, and then why he doesn't say Ishvara Siddhi? Why does he say Akila Siddhi?
No, it is there. Ishana Tattva is there. Ishana Tattva.
I see. Ishana Tattva is his way of saying Ishvara Siddhi.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Then the next
the problem here, not for Swami Vedanta, but the word Ishvara Siddhi will not fit in correctly with the what we call the definite pattern of Shardula Vikridita. We have to choose a synonym. Whenever we write poems in particular meter, the word that you imagine or that comes to your mind to write may not fit in, and therefore you have to use synonym. One example will be Amara Kosha should be memorized. Amara Kosha should be in your memory. Complete 2000 shlokas should be in your memory. Then you can understand there are 12 words for God in the beginning. In the very beginning, there are 12 words for God. And you can choose 2-lettered words, 3-syllable words, 4-syllable words, 5-syllable words. And suppose you imagine that there is one 5-syllable word that comes to your mind immediately. You have to now reduce it from 5 to 1, 5 to 2. Because you are writing an anushtup. You cannot have 5 syllables in a word. You have to come down to 2. Then very difficult to come down to 2. Therefore, you have to memorize Amara Kosha. The vocabulary should be so vast that you understand, you know the synonyms very easily, and then compose with ease any short verse. In Shardula Vikriditam, you can employ as many syllables as possible till 19. But again, there is a specific pattern. Each Gana has a specific pattern in Shardula Vikriditam. Beyond, as I said, beyond 12, beyond 14, I think. 14 is called Vasanta Tilaka. One of the meters is called Vasanta Tilaka. It is called Atyashti Chandas. In that Chandas, fortunately, there is no mention of Yati. Ukta Vasanta Tilaka Tabaja Jagaugaha is the definition. And in the definition, unfortunately, the poet need not use Yati. Otherwise, if the Yati is also there, that makes the poet very difficult to compose a poem. And therefore, beyond 14, there is definitely. In 15, it is there. In 15, it is there. It's called Malini. One of these examples is Malini. Take for example, Vedanta Deshika Sri Stuti, last verse. Upachita Guru Bhakter Uchitam Venkatesha. Therefore, there is a yati there. Yati will be, there will be 15 syllables per quarter. The yati will be Bogi Lokaihi. Bogi Lokaihi. Bogi means serpent, says snake. Loka is world, all of you know. The snakes and the world. How many snakes are there? 8. Why 8? 8 quarters, 8 snakes, 8 elephants, 8 guardians. So 8 snakes are there. That means 8. Then how many lokas? So again 7. 7 lokas. Sapta loka. So 7 lokas, 7 worlds, and therefore 8 plus 7, 15. So 8th syllable there must be a stop. Otherwise the poet is not a good poet. I also tried my hand in many meters, but yati is my trouble. Yati, I get into the trouble of yati. So I said I'm a householder, I'm a grihastha, I'm not a yati. Therefore there is no yati. I said.
So okay, so getting back to the list of books here. So you're saying he uses the word Ishana Tattva instead of saying Ishvara,
Yeah.
because he has to fit the meter, basically because he has to fit the meter. Okay, and then after that, then he mentions Gitartha Sangraha in the third line, in the third quarter. Gitartasya cha Sangraha, right? And then he says that there are two stutis. So Sri Stuti, and the other stuti he calls Shrisha. Yes?
It is Shisha Stuti, yes.
So okay, so Yamunacharya wrote a Sri Stuti.
Namely Chatushloki.
Sri Stuti is the same as Chatushloki.
Yeah.
And then, but this Shrisha Stuti,
we must find out whether this is available or not.
what was his other? What was there another Stuti that he wrote?
I think I have to search for it. I'm sorry that.
Okay, no, it's not a problem. I'm just asking because it's interesting to me that so Chatushloki is referred to as Sri Stuti here. And then he uses the word Shri, but to describe the Lord, Shrisha, the Lord of Shri. Yes?
Yeah.
So this repetition of, using Shri and then Shri again immediately, this is also some sort of alankar, is it?
Yeah, it's called the Yamaka Alankara.
Okay, so
Yamakam, it's called the Y-A-M-A-K-A-M.
Yamakam. Okay, and does it have any special meaning, or it's just a method?
No, Yamakam is a repetition of syllables with different meaning.
Right, repetition of syllables with different meaning. So again,
different meanings because of the compounding of the words.
Right. Yeah. So I noticed that, and I just thought that was very interesting, and I appreciated that. Also, I like you say, I'm not able to understand what Shrisha Stuti is. Okay, so then that's the end of the list, I believe. And then the last quarter just
I don't know whether all the 11 works of Yamunacharya are available now.
Right, but at the time of Vedanta Deshika, this seems to be his list. So
Right.
so we can say that there were the 3 siddhis plus Gitartha Sangraha plus 2 stotras, 2 stutis. 2 stutis, so that makes 6 works that he's mentioned in this Taniyam.
No. Nirnaya is there.
Nirnaya where?
The first line.
Oh, Nirnaya is a work.
Yeah, Nirnaya is the name of the word. some word precedes Nirnaya.
So this Nirnaya is a work is available.
Nirnaya is not the full name of the work. It's only the last part of the.
What is the name of the work?
It should be. Nirnaya is preceded by some word. That means Mahataha Pumsaha. Mahataha Pumsaha Nirnaya is Mahapurusha Nirnaya. It must be Mahapurusha Nirnaya.
Mahapurusha Nirnaya. Okay, so that's 7 works that we see. Now my question is.
Then first one, Manatvam is there.
Manatvam?
Manatvam Bhagavan Matasya.
That's also a work.
That's also a work.
Okay, so now we're up to 8 works. Now I didn't see in this list, I didn't see any mention of Pancharat Agama Pramanya.
Yeah.
Agama Pramanya.
Agama Pramanyam is there.
Yeah, but is it mentioned in this verse? So we have found 8. We have found 8 books so far. We have found 8 texts in this verse.
Plus
But
3.
where is Agama Pramanya?
Pramanyam is not mentioned here.
So that's interesting to me. Why Agama Pramanyam? Because Vedanta Deshika wrote Pancharataraksha. He wrote a book backing up Yamunacharya's Agama Pramanyam. So why Agama Pramanyam is not mentioned in this list?
Maybe I have a doubt. Manatvam Bhagavan Matasya will be synonymous with Agama Pramanyam.
So okay, so you think maybe the first compound here that the first book mentioned is Agama Pramanyam.
Yeah.
Okay, that's possible. All right. Anyway, that was just some questions I had about this Tanian. So getting back to the commentary. All right. So I had some questions about. First of all, you were talking about that that the Advaitins, they say that that the Lord also has the quality. He has also avidya. But if we say avidya is a thing, I mean avidya exists, right? Avidya exists, and everything that exists comes from the Lord. He is the origin of everything. So,
but he is not associated with that.
Okay, so he's the origin of the world. He's the origin of the souls. He's also the origin of avidya, of ignorance, of nescience. But he's not associated with it. So,
though we, as you say, all creations are in him, and all he is in all creation.
Right.
He is not attached to, rather not associated. I mean, instead of association, you can also say he is not attached to avidya. Because if you say avidya meaning ignorance, the ignorance is darkness. There's no attachment of darkness to it.
Another part of the commentary where it talks about 2 types of bhakti. Let's see.
Vedana, upasana, dhyana.
Well, Vedana, upasana, dhyana. Okay, I understand that. And we have Adi after Vedana, upasana, and dhyana. We have Adi, so it means it can also include later on property. So Vedana upasana means jnana yoga, basically.
Vedana is jnana yoga.
Yeah, Vedana is
upasana Vedana will be jnana yoga.
Okay, right.
Upasana will be bhakti yoga.
Bhakti yoga, right.
Dhyana will be prapatti yoga.
Oh, dhyana is prapatti yoga. Okay. Dhyana. Okay, so that
So we
dhyana.
raised the point, I think.
No, that's good. So then dhyana, later on, that dhyana has to be ikantika, right? Ikantika and
Atyantika, yeah.
atyantika,
And
right?
Atyantika.
So ikantika means alone. So
Alone, yeah.
yeah, so Lord Krishna in the Gita, he says you should go to a secluded place, and you should sit down on a deer skin and a kusha mat, and you should do dhyana. You should do meditation on him, looking at the tip of the nose. So this is what is being prescribed. So my question is, if this is what is being prescribed in the Gita, why most people are not doing, most Sri Vaishnavas, for example, are not doing this type of dhyana? They go to a secluded place first, sit on a deerskin and a woolen and kusha mat, looking at the tip of the nose, and then doing dhyana of the Lord.
We are not ready to come out of the jail.
You're not ready.
Yeah. We want to drown ourselves in the quagmire of the mundane existence.
Okay, so
That is because of attachment. Asthana sneha and karunya also. You can add karunya also. Asthana sneha with it. We have affection towards the wrong place.
Okay, so, but if you equate dhyana with property, you're equating dhyana with property. If we are supposed to be performing property, then it means that we should be doing dhyana. We should always be thinking of the Lord. And this dhyana, according to the quotation from Gita Bhasya by Vedanta Deshika here, is supposed to be done in a secluded place, ikantika, alone. It sounds very much like Kaivalya Mukti, actually, because Kaivalya means isolation, and here ikantika means being alone. So why is it that we don't practice that? Why is it that we think that practice of property does not involve this constant dhyana, which even Sripad Ramanujacharya talks about the pouring of the oil, the continuous pouring of oil. Why don't we perform property like this? Why is there not more dhyana?
Now, there are 2 points. Number one, the karma, the results of karma which we did in the previous birth govern our attitude. And therefore, you are not ready to come out of the samsara. Therefore, you are not in isolation. That is number one. Number two, you are yet to receive the blessings of the God. He waits. He awaits your change of mind. He expects that you must change as an individual soul. You must change your mind, give up the attachment toward the human life here, and then come out. But we are not ready to come out because of our what we call era-long influence of our former births. Therefore, there are two sides of that. That's why we are not doing jhana. We are not doing. Now again, today there was a discussion. We go to a preceptor, have samashrayana according to Tennacharya Sampradaya, then Bharanyasam according to Deshika Sampradaya. Then we say that it's finished, over, nothing else to do. But everybody calls Bhakti Yoga as difficult, and therefore I don't want to practice any difficulty. So we give up Bhakti Yoga saying that it is very difficult. We do not know the definition of Bhakti Yoga, the long definition of Bhakti Yoga, the elaborate definition of Bhakti Yoga. Therefore, we give up that. Then we forget the preceptor after Prapatti. So Acharya, though many of us say the Taniyans every day, how much concentration do we have over Taniyan? How much do we believe our preceptor? How much faith do we have on the preceptor? And if at all we have faith in the preceptor, it is for what we call sundry benefits, like curing my health problem, getting a job to earn money, to get married, to beget children, and we again fall into the cycle of birth and death. We are not, we don't come out of the shell. The shell is samsara.
But that's why I have
Okay,
that's why I have a doubt. That's why I doubt this. That when you say dhyana is equated to property, that's why I have a doubt, because I don't see any prapanas doing dhyana.
Now we are all looking at our own selves in the Kali Yuga, and there are again two sides of that our dhyana. Since all shastras say that in Kali Yuga Nama Sankirtanam is enough, so we have given Sarvadharman Parityajya, we have given up Anushthanam. The daily course we have given up. Nama Sankirtanam, we are tired of doing it. We don't do even Nama Sankirtanam. How many of us think of the God all the 24/7? We are engaged in so many other pursuits, so many activities. I won't say only taking food or but much time is devoted to the food preparation and eating, and what we call seismic index after food, the seismic index. So we fall a prey to the sleep. Therefore, that's why Alvar also said, Tondaradipudi Alvar said, Bhakta Angri Renu in Tirumalai. He said, we will live for 100 years, but we will sleep for 50 years. Half of our life. Vedanur Pirayam Nuru Manisardam Puhuvarenum Padiyam Urangipo. 50 years gone to sleep. How many years remain? Only 15, 1 5 out of 100. Nindradil Padinayand. The rest of it, 85 is gone already. Out of the 15 years, we are suffering by what we call old age, moopu, tunbam, general suffering, Pedai Palaganadahum. We spend our days in a childhood. We are innocent. We are ignorant also. We spend the childhood without the knowledge of Brahman. Pini, Pashi, Muput, we are hungry. We are hungry. We have got diseases. Pini, Pashi, Muput, the old age, Tunbam, the suffering, general suffering. Adalal Piravi Venden Arangamanagurala. That is why I don't want to be born again. So all the years are spent. So how do we expect dhyana in Kali Yuga? Kali Purusha is called, is a man called black man, influencing us on negative things. That is why we don't do dhyana. In one of these days, just before this virus attack, I went to a house, a friend's house, where we planned to have very young children to recite God's name. We expected 12 to 14 children, but only 10 children turned up. Rather, sorry, 9 children turned up. Two of their parents, 2 or 3 parents also accompanied them. We took a van, reached the house, had 2 hours of meditation, 2 hours of Nama Sankirtanam. Then all appreciated. Those who attended all appreciated. Only 5 hours, 5 elders were there to appreciate. Then all the 5 prostrated before the children, because children they got very much inspired by those children. We all fell down at their feet and then came out, forgot everything else. So for 2 hours, that is because the family of that house was supposed to visit USA to visit their daughter in California. They planned the ticket. They booked a ticket. The daughter booked the tickets, the parents' tickets. They were about to leave. And then I said, why can't we have Nama Sankirtanam one day? So hurriedly we planned, and the travel was not to be. He couldn't travel. They couldn't travel. And they had to cancel the ticket because our interest is in traveling to the traveling abroad to see our children and grandchildren and so on. But then Nama Sankirtanam is only a truce, TRUCE, to just to show that we are devoted. That's all. Nothing else.
Okay, so getting back to these two, Aikantika Bhakti. Aikantika Bhakti is isolated Bhakti. Then Atyantika.
It's extreme devotion.
Extreme.
Endless devotion.
So these two things. So these two things have to be combined.
Yeah.
Aikantika and Atyantika have to be combined.
Aikantika and Atyantika.
So I mean, this sounds very much to me like Kaivalya Mukti. Kaivalya Mukti, we're isolated, and we're always thinking about maybe we're thinking about Atmananda. But we could also be thinking about Paramatma. I don't know, but it is endless and it is isolated. It sounds very much like Kaivalya Mukti to me.
No, this isolation is a mental isolation. You don't come out of your family. You don't come out of your house. You stay in the house. Stay without attachment.
Okay, but that's your interpretation, because in the Gita, Krishna clearly says, go to the forest and sit on the mat and do the meditation there. So if we're talking in terms of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna doesn't say stay in your house and meditate. So how can you justify that?
The house.
Huh?
No, the forest is the house. The forest is the house, and the beasts are there within the house. The beasts are within us.
The beasts
are there.
The beasts are within us. Okay, the beasts are within us, and the forest is in the house. So So I guess we have to catch the tiger by the tail. Is that right? We have to catch the tiger by the tail, otherwise he'll eat us. So, okay. So we can take. So in the Gita, when Krishna says go to the forest, you're saying it can be taken metaphorically.
Yeah, metaphorical. Yeah.
Okay.
How many of us can go to the forest?
First of all, we have to find a forest. There's not so many forests. There's not many forests available. But actually in Hawaii there are forests, and there are even fruits in the forests. So some people, they go in the forest and they can even live in the forest, but because there are fruits there. But I don't know other places in the world where it's possible. So these days it's very difficult to go to the forest.
Today we say even in Himalaya, snow mountains, there are people who do penance. They don't mind any type of weather, any type of disturbance in the forest and so on. They don't worry about food. They are like, all of them are like Vishwamitra. Okay, let us say the Taniyas now.
Okay,
And
so one moment.
any further explanations or doubts or clarifications can be taken up next step.
Okay. Swadayan iha sarvesham trayantartam sudugraham stotrayamasa yogindraha tam vande yumunahvayam namo namo yamunaya namo namaha namo namo yamunaya namo namaha yat padam bhoroham dhyana vidvashta shesha kalmashaha right vastutam upayato ham yamuneyam namamitam.
Madam,
Himaya Kalyana Gunashaline Srimate Venkateshaya Vedanta Gurave Namaha.
So thank you very much, Swami. I want to apologize to all the other members for asking questions about Sanskrit prosody, about chandas and everything. If that was too boring for everybody, I'm apologizing now. Please forgive me.
No, they are also supposed to know whatever we discuss is also important to them. We don't feel that it is unnecessary information, but since I am also in the know of certain things, I want to convey the matter so that we will understand the seriousness of the problem, like problem in the sense understanding the meter, a long meter, the long compound words. Why are they difficult to understand? Why should we have a long meter? Then how can we compress the meaning in a small sloka with 8 syllables per quarter? And we must understand the difficulty of the poet who has composed all this.
I think that I'm going to have to watch this video again and again before I fully understand everything that you said. But I appreciate the thoroughness that you have gone into explaining every little detail. And even I have, with my limited understanding, I was able to just see some things which I was interested in, but it opened up to a complete new world for me of understanding of the Alankara. So thank you very much for that explanation.
Yeah, I also learned about why Yati comes there. When does Yati come? I counted the syllabus. This is all something new and very interesting, that Yati word coming in the stotrams. Well, it's quite eye-opening for me, even though I don't know anything about Sanskrit, but it's so beautiful.
Now, to count the syllables, we must have previous experience also.
Yeah, that's what I tried. I couldn't count it, whatever you're 19 or whatever. It's not work out. But
sorry, I will send all of you the definition of a heavy syllable. Then only you will understand how to understand splits into separate syllables.
Yeah.
I think we covered that in another class also. This seven things that have to be there for the heavy syllable. But anyway, it's an ocean. It's a vast ocean of knowledge that you have, Swami, and we just
yes.
we have a good response from Mr. Krishna Kashyap of Bay Area, California. He has been a long time friend to me, and he said today he is not able to come to this session. He is otherwise busy, and he is also giving a lot of lectures. I think his lectures are available in the video form in YouTube also. He has promised to join either tomorrow or day after, or very soon. And he has got a lot of inputs to say. And
I
he
see.
is learning from Dr. M.A. Alva. That is very important.
Oh, we are also learning from Dr. M.A. Alwar.
Please.
But I think if Mr. Krishna Kashyap joins, then I'm going to have to keep silent because he knows so much more than me.
So sometimes you have to ask him to stop.
Yeah.
That's okay. You have to also ask me to stop. That's when people get bored, they can just ask politely. Please stop, Swami. If you can just chat me. Stop.
Usually it is a habit of people like me to stop when there is curiosity to know more. And when they, as you said, when they are bored by prosody, then I have to stop.
I'm taking advantage of the corona virus quarantine. That I have scholars like you and like Dr. Alwar. You are caught inside the house and you have nothing to do. You have nowhere to go. So I'm trying to catch you and to just squeeze some of the knowledge out. So I could get some of that.
No. The people like me are very safe, as usual, arrested in the house because we have no other arena of work outside. I'm retired and I need not go to any place to teach. I don't want to go to because the teacher should be approached. The student should come to the teacher's house. So already, now this has happened because of Corona. All the people have come to the teacher instead of the teacher going to the student. Rather than, I'm just giving an analogy. So I had nothing to do before, not because of Corona or with Corona or without Corona. I have nothing to do. There is a joke about Tamil Nadu ministers. So if there is a portfolio for the minister, he doesn't work. If there is no portfolio, he doesn't work.
So I think it's also very interesting that now everybody is in the quarantine from the corona, so everybody feels like there's no work. Even the people who are not retired, sometimes they are retired out of coronavirus. They have to be retired. They've lost their jobs and they have nothing to do but sit in the house. And actually, the point of human life is that we actually have nothing to do. All we have to do is surrender to God. And so this is giving us a chance to understand that there is actually nothing to do. The only thing we have to do is this Bhagavad Dhyana.
A professor of engineering from NIT Trichy, National Institute of Technology, is learning scriptures from me. Rather, we are both learning together, and we finished the book yesterday, very fast, because of Corona.
Yeah.
Because we had a lot of time, and there are 2 points. Number one, the problem is with children. The parents and grandparents managing the children at home. Number one, that is 1 point. And the children now want school or college. The parents cannot provide time management, proper time management at home. And all these people working for a job, they are too much pressurized by the heavy work given by the office at home. They are now bored to the court. They feel that they must go to the office, finish the job, and come back free. Both doesn't happen. Children are trouble. Children are in trouble. The job goers are in trouble. People like me are scot-free.
Right, but the world is turned upside down because children don't want to go to school usually. Now they want to go. People don't want to go to the work, but now everybody wants to go to the work. So God has turned the whole world upside down, and everybody's thinking has changed 100%. But
Okay.
as you say, the retired people like you and me, we are the same.
Yeah,
No difference for us.
we have equanimity like a sage. Nothing affects us.
I was also thinking about these Zoom conferences that in the Gita it says what is the nighttime for one person, for one sage, is the time of awakening for another sage, like that. So
Ya nisha sarva bhutanam sa nisha pashyato muni. Ya nisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagrati samyami. That is the first line.
yeah, so the time of awakening for me is the time of sleeping for you.
कवितार्किक सिंहाय कल्याण गुणशालिने श्रीमते वेंकटेशाय वेदांत गुरवे नमः।